Hey guys, we're back doing more maintenance on the 7-ton. Today we're going to change the transmission fluid and filters. So if you saw my video on the oil sample that I sent out for the transmission, it came back okay. It had a little bit of copper in it, but since that oil sample went on a pretty long, about a 500-mile trip, and just beat the truck, was towing a big trailer with another truck on it, and we were about 65,000 GVWs. So, and off-roaded it and took it in the sand and rocks and towing, and so it's probably time. No idea when the last time this was done, if ever. So we've got our filter kit. The 7-tons use what they call the deep sump. So these are, I think they call these either 4-inch filters or a 4-inch sump. They also make a short 2-inch. So here's the part number if you want. And this is actually a military maintenance kit with a NSN number and everything on it. So I've not done this, so let's try to get all set up and see what that's going to be like. Get this camera set up. So I don't know if there's a specific order to start in, but we're just going to start and see what happens. This battery on the flashlight's gonna die, but we'll probably start with the drain. From what I understand, as soon as you pull those filters out, a whole bunch of oil comes out. So I'm assuming you get probably 5 gallons out of this drain plug, and then 2.5 each filter. Oh boy, that's on there. Alright, we're gonna have to get a half dry. You know what? Let me see if I can get a breaker bar on it. Not a breaker bar, but a cheater bar. Oh, there we go. I must have loosened it. So it's cool, you don't need a drain pan, you can just use a big 5-gallon bucket. The fluid doesn't look bad, but in a transmission it doesn't get diesel soot and burnt, so hopefully that's not more than 5 gallons, because that's the only bucket I've got right now. And there is a magnet on. If you know me, I'm a big fan of magnets. There is a magnet on the end of that, and that is the cleanest magnet I've ever seen. Looks like there's like a bright metal on there, like aluminum, but that bucket's about halfway full. Go get some rags just in case. Yeah, that is filling up fast, so we might have to grab another bucket. Yeah, so wiping this magnet off on this rag, that's all I got. It's that little spot there, so that's good. Yeah, that's filling fast. I got an idea, we'll just do this. And I'm sitting on the same cardboard, so we got a little drip there, but it'll be alright. We'll get some buckets ready, because that is that's even filling this one up fast. There aren't a lot of videos on the internet about this. One of the reasons I'm making it, I saw one. I watched it before I started this just to kind of get an idea of what I'm doing, but I don't remember the guy getting so much oil out of just the drain bolt. Maybe he did the filters first. All right, well, I'll pause this and we'll come back when it's done draining. All right, so we're gonna leave that draining. The drain plug is still out and it's not pouring out, but it's a pretty good stream. So you basically have to have 3 drain pans, because one for the drain bolt, one for each filter. So we're gonna hit this filter right now. So these are pretty long bolts, but they're a 5/8 head, so they come out pretty simple. There's a torque spec, and I plan on honoring that because I don't want to strip one of these out. And that's in, you just get that online from Allison. So I don't know what's going to happen here. It seems like most of the fluid came out. We'll pop this off. Now you got to keep drain pans under here the whole time, because when you pop this cover off, you're going to have to take it out and clean it and replace an O-ring, so you can't just pop it right back in like a drain plug. Oh yeah. And you got it. I wouldn't recommend a 5-gallon bucket because you need a big opening to catch it all. I kind of want to let that drain for a while. All right, while that's draining, I'm going to go do the other filter. Can you guys see that little filter? Well, you won't be able to see the kind of the drive shafts in the way, but it's the same setup. Oh, don't let that hit you. That would have been a mess. So that filter slid down, and we are making it rain in here, but I'm catching 100% of it. So anyway, that filter slid all the way down. Luckily the drive shaft catches it. Boy, I hope I don't have to pull that drive shaft. Wonder if I can rotate that around and catch it all. Anyway, I'm gonna let this all drain out. I'm gonna go eat lunch and I'll come back and see where we're at. All right, well those they're still draining, but I was able to get the filters out, and they're keeping my welding table from rusting. But they're symmetrical, so we don't have to keep an order to them. These are, what a great product. These are built really well. They're heavy, partly because they're so full of oil, but 32111, I assume that means that's the, can you see that? No, I'm out of frame. March of 2011 was probably, I assume, the date these were made, which is good because my truck's an 02, so that means these are not the original. So there's one. There's the other. Same date. So these are so well made, you can tell. So let's see, we got a gasket. You got a big, pretty thick black O-ring and a brown one. So we'll set those all off to the side. I'm kind of relieved knowing that this has been changed at some point. So the new filter kit, I don't know what MCP is, but August of 16. So let's see what's stamped on the filter, or written on the filter. Yeah, so they made these on the same date, 3/21 of 11 on the old ones, 3/21 of 16. So let me just say August. So these probably weren't installed, the old ones in 11, maybe 12 or 13. So it's probably time to change them. So anyway, we'll set those to the side. Just some generic. Okay, so they tell you the refill amount. Refill, it's 37. Can you read all that? 37 quarts refill on the 4-inch. Like I said, they also make the 2-inch. So that's good to know. We'll keep that. Oh, and that tells you how to identify the 4-inch sump versus the 2-inch sump. So you have torque specs on here. Tells you what's in here. Oh, it does say, yeah, 38 to 45 foot-pounds. So that's cool. That's one less thing I got to look up. So we've got the big O-ring. The big O-ring. I did read somewhere online, the kit also comes with a square O-ring, and that was the older style, so those we don't need. The two smaller brown O-rings. That looks like maybe the drain bolt O-ring, and 2 new gaskets, so that's cool. So I'm going to take these over to the parts washer. Excuse me. They're all caked up with Barstow dirt, so I'll clean all those up and get ready to reinstall this. Alright, so I got these all cleaned up in the parts washer. They came out pretty good. I'm not feeling anything wrong with them. So there's an O-ring in here already, so we'll lube that up. We'll just use some of this. This table may look all dirty, but it's just stained. So this is fairly clean oil. Why they use a brown color instead of black. Anyway, pretty straightforward. You can't, I guess someone could mess it up, but the thing, I'm not gonna, you know, a lot of these kits come with a new O-ring for the drain bolt. I never use it. Didn't leak before, it probably won't leak now. So this has writing on one side, but the material's the same, so I don't think that matters. Let's see. No, it does. Ah, that's smart. They orientated the holes so you can't put it in backwards. So it's writing down on that one. And writing down on that one. Ah, that's pretty basic. So let's do this. You know what though? I'm going to take that off. I don't want to lube the O-rings with the gasket on. So we'll... I'll just put a light, I was out of frame there, but I'm just putting a light coating on there And then what I'll do is I'll wipe off the flange before I put the gasket on, just so it's not, the gasket doesn't have a bunch of oil on it already. I got a whole roll of this. This is that stuff you used to have at elementary school bathrooms. It doesn't absorb at all, but actually I got like 3 or 4 rolls of it, so I might as well use it up. So I'm just wiping off the flange. All right. So writing down. Oh yeah, you can just feel that this is a quality part. Everything fits perfect. All right, so those are on. So I'll pause this. We'll go back up under the truck and cinch these down. All right, so we're back up under here. That finally stopped dripping. That took, I don't know, probably 45 minutes. And you do not have to pull your drive shaft, so that's good news. All that fun Barstow fine silt dust. All right, so how did that go? It probably went like that. Okay, one trick you do have to do is there's kind of a flat, you got to put it up in there and then, is that right? Yeah, it's probably like that. No. Here, I need a bolt. So these are dry. There's no oil on them at all. I'm just gonna wipe them down for fun. Let's see if that works. Cut on. That's not it. Let's see. No. Okay. Nope. Nope. No. Jeez. There we go. Gotta keep spinning it like a clock till you get it. So I'm just wiping each bolt down as I go, just get any debris off it. All right, let me get this drain pan out of here. There we go. I don't know if you're watching the drain bolt is still dripping. So keep your pan under there. Alright, now I am going to ever so gently just run these up. We'll come back with a torque wrench on that. What it's doing right now, can you see that? No, that light's terrible. It's just starting to compress the O-ring, so we're in good shape. All right, let's go around to the other side. All right. It's the same thing. I'm going to take this drain pan out of here. Free up a little room. And back to cleaning. You know, I'm going to put the drain. I'll put the drain bolt back in so I can not get showered in oil. But it's been over an hour. This thing's still dripping, so. Yeah, this O-ring's fine. I'm not going to replace it. Alright, we'll tighten that later. Sorry if this is boring. I wish I had a good story to tell you, but I don't. Alright, so the orientation of this, you can't, I mean, you can do it wrong, but you can't mess it up, so I would just say start turning it till they all line up. Which, that could be it right there. I don't know, let's see. If I was, that's probably not it. Nope, that's not it. If I was laid on my back, I could probably see better. Well, when all the bolts line up, but alright, so it's just a little trial and error. So the instructions even say do not pull the cover up with the bolts to hold it up and do it, but what they mean is don't run one all the way up and pinch it. So. Alright, grab the torque wrench and do the rest. So it said, it said 30. Oh, crap. Wrong size. It said 38 to 45. I'll just go. There's 40. We'll go 43. And we'll split it. Extension. Normally I'd say Harbor Freight tools are okay, but they're not for torquing. So this is an actual professional, it's called a Jetco torque wrench. And I just had it calibrated. I won't bore you with the other side. I'm gonna hit these with a paint marker and then we'll fill it up. Anyway, there they are. There's the old oil. That's deceiving because it's dark under here. The oil's not that dark. Alright, so we're back up in the bed now. We're going to fill up the fill tube. One thing to note, these get super brittle sitting in the sun, so this first time I touched the little T-handle that was on here, it broke off. But if you just twist, you gotta hold the base of it. If you hold it here, give it a twist, it's a little cam lock. So, all right. Pause that. My funnel that I trimmed won't fit in the hole. So this is going to be slow because, you know, that other funnel I cut way back here, but it doesn't fit. So we got to go with the slow fill method. But and again, clean this off because it's the first time you dump this, turn this bucket over, you'll get a bunch of dust coming into your transmission. And get strong. Well, that was almost 2 buckets. So now the fun part is start the truck, drive it around, get it up to operating temperature, check the fluid level, drive it around, add some, take some out, whichever one you're doing. Start, you know, drive it around, check it, drive it around, check it about 4 or 5 times. So anyway, that's where we're at. A little spill, but not so bad. Anyway, it wraps this one up. I don't know, probably 3 hours into this. Hard to gauge how much fluid came out because I end up using 4 drain pans for it. So who knows, but this alone will take over an hour of driving it, stopping, putting it in neutral, pulling the dipstick, checking it. So fun part. Anyway, thanks.